year. Oh, and then throughout that following of the rest of the year, like let's just say that fall for the rest of the year, that August, September, October, November, December, I was still working my job that I held while I was in school, but I wanted to get a job in my field basically. And the jobs I were applying to, either I didn't have enough experience, or they just weren't calling me back, etc., etc. So I think I ended up applying to them again, and let's just say I sent them my resume in December. Like, I called up there saying that I wanted to apply because they didn't have anywhere for applicants to apply on their website. So I had to call there and let them know that I wanted to apply. And actually, I was prepared to like walk in and try to talk to someone in person, but the office was like by appointments only, so there was really no way that I could talk to someone in person. So I really had no other choice but to call. So I called up there and told somebody that I wanted to apply, for an internship, yada yada yada. And she was like, okay, email your resume to this email address. I'll pass it like to our manager, and things like that. So I probably did that again for the last time. I want to say like around in December, let's say. And then they ended up calling me back, and it took a while. Let's just say March. So in March they called back, and in my resume, like I said, I wanted a paid internship already because of my circumstances while I was in school. But now that I was out of school, I definitely wanted a paid internship still, because I had bills to pay and different things like that. So and I really, one of my main reasons for wanting to pay, well, there's a lot of different things, a lot of different pros to wanting a paid internship, and having experience of interning somewhere else for free, I feel like kind of helped back me up with wanting pay. But sometimes you just kind of have to do it without the pay. If you're an intern, you're just trying to get your feet wet or whatever. But being someone that has already like been in the work field period, and having bills and a child, and I felt like if I got a paid internship, that they would take me more seriously. That meant that they took me serious. They were serious about training me or working with me, and it also made me a very likely candidate for future hire, I felt like, because I was already on their payroll, et cetera, et cetera. So I just felt like there were a lot of good pros to wanting a paid internship, and that's what I did. That was what was best for me, and I wasn't selling for any internships that weren't paying me. So so I put that in my cover letter that I was seeking a paid internship. I also attached my resume, and like I said, I did that maybe in December. They called me maybe like in March or something and said we were interested. Because their home location is in a different city, I think we spoke over the phone a couple of times, and then she told me they wanted me to email a copy of my transcript. So if you're still in school now and you're thinking about interning in the future, or that you're going to want to intern, make sure you're keeping your grades up, because they did want a copy of my transcript. They wanted to see what my grades looked like, if I was a good student, and probably just to confirm that I actually was a legal student, so they weren't just like bringing some kind of random major into their intern program. And what else? So they definitely wanted to know what my grades looked like, and my grades were okay. I think I had like a bad semester on there, but for the most part my grades were okay, and I had an overall 3.2, I think. That was like my overall. But yeah, and before that I was in Phi Theta Kappa during my second year for associates, and so my grades weren't bad or whatever. They wanted my transcript, they wanted references, and actually, again, how I found out about this particular law firm was one of the classmates that was one of the legal students that were ahead of me. I was asking, you know, the older students, like, where they did their internships, and they had told me, well, one of the students had told me that's where they went, and she told me how it was, and she was like, I basically didn't do much, you know, and so I didn't want something that would be too strenuous, but I also wanted somewhere that I would learn, just because I already had another job, and I had a child, and, you know, so from what she described to me, I was interested, so this is how I learned about it. So they wanted references, you know, basically the normal things that people usually ask for. And then I had to do an interview, and I did a Skype interview because, like I said, their home office was in a different city. And the office that they had there was by appointment only, and the manager also wasn't like on site at that location. So I did my interview. That went well. I didn't actually meet the manager in person, nor did I meet the head attorney in person either. I think I met him in person maybe a few weeks to like a month or so, couple months even maybe, before I met him in person. And one of the reasons being for that is I didn't work every day. So my internship was very small. Like I said, I still had another job, so it was hard, you know, and I also had a child, so it was kind of hard for me to kind of balance these things. So what I did was Tuesdays and Thursdays. And when I asked them, because the job I had, I was like, my job can work around, you know, what I'm doing, if I can get like a good schedule. So, and I was like, when are your busiest days? And they were saying because it's by appointments, that, you know, they kind of fluctuate or whatever. So I was able to pick Tuesdays and Thursdays. So Tuesdays and Thursdays were my days that I came in, and I didn't stay all day. Gradually, like I did Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 p.m. to 5 or 5:30, something like that. I did 12 to 5 or something like that. And it was enough. I came in early enough basically to relieve the person that was the paralegal that was there for her lunch, and, you know, stay the rest of the afternoon or evening. So I did that for Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then it came to the point to where I was doing like all day long Tuesdays and Thursdays, so like 9 to 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I started doing more days. But anyways, back to the hiring process. I feel like I skipped over that. So yeah, so I did my interview over Skype. It went well. All of my documents checked out, I guess. My hands are ashy because I just washed them before I left work. But anyways, and I had to carry FedEx boxes down, so disregard that. But yeah, so I did my Skype interview. That went well. Everything went well. And then when I went in person to sign some documents, I was actually signing up through the paralegal that was there, because like I said, the main admin people basically were outside. They were at a different location. So when I got there, and I was noticing with all the documents, like there weren't anything that was regarding pay, or either I came across something that said no pay. And so I don't know, I think that next day after I had left from up there, I emailed the manager and I was like, hey, I'm really grateful for the opportunity, etc. But in my cover letter, I did request that I wanted to receive pay for this position. You know, is this something that you know, will be included in my internship or whatever? I don't know what I said, but basically I pointed that out to them, and they were like, well, usually we don't pay interns, but I think because they kind of messed up on their part, they kind of felt like I don't want to say obligated, but they kind of felt bad, so they decided to go ahead and pay me, because it really was on their part. Like, I specifically said that I wanted to get paid for this, and I think they kind of like glanced over it, probably because most interns don't really ask for it, just because they know they're interns, and you know, it's hard to kind of get in when you can anyways. So they were like, like, oh, okay, yeah, we totally missed that, but I'll check with the head attorney and we'll see what we can do. So basically they ended up paying me or whatever. It wasn't much, but I was still getting paid something. And I honestly didn't care if it was $7.25, as long as I was getting paid, which is minimum wage here. I didn't care what it was, as long as I was getting paid. That was just my whole thing, because I just didn't want to do it for free. And then at that point, I had already graduated as well, so it's like, okay, I already have my degree now, everything. Like, come on, you know, at least give me something. But they did. It was more than minimum wage, you know, but it still wasn't like a whole lot. It was nothing I could live off of. And besides, I was only there for 2 days, like 5 hours a day. I literally was getting like 10 hours a week. But anyway, so that's how the whole hiring process started out. Car's gonna be trying to get over. So that's how the whole hiring process started out. What happened next? So yeah, that's when I started working. Like, I would say the first few weeks to the first month, I spent a lot of time training. It was almost like school again, because basically they gave me some documents that they give their clients, basically explaining what the bankruptcy process is, different terms that are used, what kind of meetings or hearings you go to if you have court, what court is like, what to expect. And it was really some general information sheets that they hand out to all of their clients, basically all the new clients. I don't even say new, I would just say just all of their clients anyways. That explains the bankruptcy process and what to expect. So I got those. It's really like a whole little packet, and it was something that I kind of had to study, because like these are things that I had to start knowing at the top. Because like when I finally met the head attorney, he was like, so what's the difference between God, what was it? I can't even remember, it was so long ago. But he had asked me a question like, there are different types of bankruptcies, and he was asking me like, what's the difference between a chapter 13 and chapter 7 or something like that. He started quizzing me, you know, like as soon as he met me or whatever. So like these were things that you have to remember, just kind of know off the top. Of course, being new, they don't mind you referring back to your notes and stuff like that. And that's the beauty of being an intern, because they're patient with you and they know that you're not gonna know these things just, you know, it's, you know, right off the top of your head. Like they're patient with the learning process of you learning how to do things and learn things. But that's basically how it went. And I learned like the different bankruptcies, what they meant, the definitions. I also watched different bankruptcy tutorial videos, even some on YouTube that explain bankruptcy processes. So that's what I spent the most of my time doing for like the first part of my internship, was basically being in school, like learning the process, because I did paralegal assignments in school. Like we drafted memos and client letters and did legal research on cases, you know, and things like that. But when it comes to bankruptcy, like we didn't just specifically hone in on bankruptcy. It's not something that we just learned or focused on in school. So like I knew there was, you know, bankruptcy law, but I didn't really know the ins and outs of it. So that's what I spent the most of my time doing, and that's what I spent the most of my time doing, and that's why I also did general admin things like, you know, checking the mailbox, drafting letters, sending out solicitation letters, helping clients that came in, which most of the time we kind of knew if they were coming, or if not, they were lost, because like I said, it was an appointment only office, which really kind of helped in the learning process, because we weren't getting interrupted all the time, and I really was able to focus. But yeah, so I started out basically learning, and then doing a lot of general admin work, and it helped with me already having work experience, and you know, getting paid as well, because I didn't mind doing it, I guess. Excuse me. But yeah, so I basically did general admin work, and that didn't bother me, because I've worked like the front desk before, I worked at a call center before, and I basically, yeah, like I said, I worked front desk before doing clerical work. So I already knew how to do this stuff. So I spent like a portion of my time learning and training, and then I would do things like draft letters, like I said, solicitation letters, clean the office, assist clients if they need assistance, like need help to the bathroom, or welcome clients in, greeting people, calling people back if it's just giving them like very basic general news or something like that, or hey, your packet's up here ready for pickup, you know, yada yada yada, something like that. Or when would you like to schedule an appointment? I was able to do just basic general admin things. Okay, that's what I was doing and learning until I learned the process. Once I learned the process, I basically, and during this time I shadowed the paralegal, basically doing everything she did. If she was contacting, my mind is where I am now, like labor, employment law, we say vendors and stuff like that. So I want to say contacting a vendor, but if she was contacting like a lien holder, trying to get like somebody's car from being repoed, somebody's house from being foreclosed, whoever the lien holder is on that, or whoever's garnishing that, contacting them, what information we give them, what information we couldn't give them, if we had to send over representation letters, how we can get the car back as soon as possible, like get it done today, or sending out orders to like immediately, stop garnishments because this client is in bankruptcy. So I can't remember what we called the process or what it was called, but it was basically like a rush thing. So like if they filed today and we needed to cease, whatever garnishments were happening that same day that they filed, because it was like an emergency thing, like say somebody's house was on the line and like they needed it done today, then like doing rush things. And at that time, that means any other cases that you work on, like you literally stop and focus on this one case because it's so high priority, you know what I mean? So yeah, and it's like as soon as, so just getting the basic things filed that we needed done. I can't remember what it was called, but we basically did like this fast process where we got all the things that we needed done. Like they brought it all in that same day and had it done. Like we can get them filed, get a case number, and boom. Like whoever is like contacting them or trying to get money from them, they can't anymore because they're automatically, protected, So that's what it was. So we had to get a case number for them in order for them to stop being harassed or whatever it was. So a lot of the terms, I guess it seems like I've forgotten, but I can't remember what we used to call it, but it was basically like a rush thing. So, if they needed it immediately, and it's usually for people that are really far behind or there's very serious cases, obviously. I also shadowed her for client consultations. And when I say shadowed her, I mean the bankruptcy paralegal that was there, that's normally there, I was the intern under her, but I shadowed her for client consultations. So the client consultations, basically, we set an appointment with the client. Sometimes, I guess, if the firm allows walk-ins, they could do like walk-in consultations if they're free. But we usually scheduled them. If a person came in or called and talked about the issue, we would schedule an appointment for a consultation. During this consultation, we would get information from them, find out whether they're eligible or not, give them like information on their next steps. And the consultations were also always free. And we usually booked them for about an hour long. Sometimes they were long, sometimes they were short, just regarding on the person and their issues. So yeah, during the client consultation, we have the client fill out forms. We get to talk to them beforehand, or if we can, we usually have them fill out the forms before and then just turn them in to us, just to speed the process up faster. If it's a pre-booked consultation, like I said, they should already know to bring everything, like social security cards, any like bills that they need to put on there if they have the exact bill, or whoever's contacting them, the address or whatever. All of that will help us with putting it into their bankruptcy, so that because just say they say Comcast is harassing them, like we can search Comcast and put in a Comcast address and phone number. But if you can give us the exact Comcast location that's contacting you, of course, that will make the process faster, because they can pinpoint, the place that has your account. yeah, so we had the client fill out forms. We explained to them what it is, what's the difference between the 7 and 13, what they qualify for, if they don't qualify. If they don't qualify, what else can they do besides that? Like one guy, he wanted to put in a lot of IRS debt, and you know, he could file for bankruptcy like we told him, but it was better for him to go see an attorney that specialized in that area. I can't remember what we called it. I want to say like a tax attorney. It was better for him to go see a tax attorney to like consolidate or find some kind of way to like lower their debt or see what would be better for him, because with bankruptcy, your debt don't really just like go away. It's basically consolidated into a more feasible payment plan. So yeah, so that's what we advised to him, because I mean, if your debt is like $1 million, you know, he had $1 million in IRS debt, it's not just gonna go away. We're just basically gonna crunch it down into a plan that's a little more affordable to you. But at the end of the day, you're still gonna have to pay that, which is the tricky / sucky part of bankruptcy. Any government debt that you have is not going to be wiped away. Like most government debt does not wipe away. So if you're doing a bankruptcy, let's say you have a phone bill, some credit card debt, child support, and something else that's government related. I don't know. Child support and student loans. Student loans and child support, those things are not going to get wiped away. Now, credit card debt, they definitely will get wiped away. Phone bill, they will probably wipe that away too. Which means like you don't have to pay it back. They'll just kind of erase it out of the plan-ish, if I'm remembering correctly. But I know for a fact that your credit card debt, your government debt would not get wiped away. So you would have to pay on that, whatever it is. It doesn't get consolidated or wiped away. What else did we do? I didn't do any like legal research. I didn't have to research any cases. Most of what my day consisted of was doing consultations if we had those, client schedules. So in bankruptcy, they have schedules, which are basically like your forms that you submit to the court, in a way almost kind of like your exhibits, if you want to compare it to like a trial court or something. But they call it schedules, and the different schedules have different things. Like Schedule AB, I think, was property or assets. And you have a schedule for like assets, debts, or et cetera, et cetera. So they have the different categories for what, the different schedules for whatever category. So you have to submit your schedules, and they're also due by a certain date. So just keeping up with the dates on what things are due. And just submitting the different schedules. What else did we do? I would help the attorney with anything that she needed done, which is usually just calling somebody back or sending such and such. That was kind of, I'm trying to think. Contacting lien holders. Basically everything I shadowed the paralegal doing. And when she was pregnant, so she went on maternity leave, and when she went on maternity leave, I basically was working there full time. So I was there Monday through Friday for the 6 weeks or whatever that she was on maternity leave. So I was there Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and with the same pay that they were paying me before. And I basically just took her place until she came back. But my internship was only supposed to last, I think, for a few months, or I stayed over the summer. But they decided that I did such a good job that they wanted to keep me while she did her leave. After she came back from her leave, they went ahead and released my internship because, they just couldn't afford it. It was a small firm. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed.